Hello and welcome to eMarketing Strategies that get attention for your business and brought to you by Atlantic Online. My name is Shelley Bellefontaine and I'm the founder of Atlantic Online, and we help Atlantic Canadian businesses to fish, control, and grow their online. We are a growth agency. We're a full-service digital marketing agency from Southwest Nova Scotia. We specialize in website development. Specifically, we specialize in e-commerce website design to help you sell your products and services online. We operate as a team of independent associates, each experts in their field, and together we bring our clients the most amazing results for this digitally connected world. So if you're at all interested in working in our sandbox, I encourage you to reach out at www.atlanticonline.ca. On with the show. E-marketing is the promotion or the marketing of your products or services in the online form over digital channels such as email and through social media and through your website as well. I'm sure you've seen some of these buzzwords that there are simply too many to review, but you've heard of all of these concepts. So for today's topic, I've taken a rather strategic approach in how I want to talk about developing some great online strategies for your business. I want to start with the buyer persona because I think that's the foundational piece, that if you know who you're speaking to, who your audience is, who your target customer is, and who your ideal prospect is, then you're in a better position to write the right kind of messages to communicate to that prospect. So it's really important that we identify the buyer persona. We'll talk in detail about that shortly. We're going to talk about organic growth, and those are things that you can do on your own without budget, just time and resource, in order to grow your business online using not only social media but other tactics as well that we will talk about. Organic growth is recommended before we even talk about paid advertising campaigns because it's going to show your social worth. We'll get into discussing some search engine optimization tactics that I highly recommend and use within all of our websites that we develop for our clients as well. So we're happy to share that with you. We'll also talk about paid ads and show you a great example, or rather interesting example, you'll see, of a Facebook paid ad and how very powerful paid ads can be when you're ready for it. We'll talk too about email marketing. That's a strategy that we employ consistently. You will have probably received emails from us in the past, at least most recently, in order to access this webinar. So email marketing is a very strong marketing tool because when you consider that your prospect has provided you with their email address, they have just established trust with you. And the best way to build online working relationships is through trust. And that's what email marketing allows you to capitalize upon. We'll also talk about calls to action. And these are these are often overlooked in a lot of our marketing messages. I've seen so many great ad copies out there that have great inspirational messages or sometimes have great messaging about your product or your service, but they fail to ask the audience to take an action. So if you don't tell people to click here to buy now or download your copy here, chances are they're not going to go hunting and pecking for it. So we're going to review some really strong call to actions that you can use in your marketing yourself. Then the seventh item is we're going to look at the landing page. A strong landing page is well constructed and is organized in such a way that it engages the viewer to take an action. So we'll review that and you'll see how we can put it all together with a fabulous example at the end I'm not going to try to sell you anything today. You can just simply reach out to atlanticonline.ca if you want to have a consultation about our services and how we can help you. But this is not a webinar where I'm going to stop midway and say to continue by this. This is simply our gift to you, and we have been in this business for, my gosh, I've been developing websites for over 20 years and helping clients long before it was cool to be developing websites. So we speak with conviction and with authority on these subjects, and we are very happy to share this as well because we want to see more people successful online. Okay, so let's get going. Defining your buyer persona. What exactly is that buyer or client persona? It's actually a fictional and generalized character assessment that you build that represents the ideal client of your largest market. It contains demographic information like their age, their location, income, and other psychographic info like what they're interested in and why they buy you and what their concerns are. Let's take a look at that a little closer. We have to make sure too that our motivation is on point here, because why should we be defining a client persona? Of course, we have to be able to speak directly to our client, but you have to do so because the online space is crowded. How much advertising are we faced with daily? We're faced with it, across traditional channels, print, television, radio. We're faced with it constantly with every website that we visit as well. So as a result of that online space is very crowded. And if you don't speak directly to your target audience in the language that they appreciate and with messages that are relevant to them, your approach is just going to be overlooked. So the demand is very, very high for targeted ads. How do we define our client personas? What's contained within? Well, certainly a lot of these characteristics of the typical customer are not things that you're going to know right away. This is something you're going to build over time. As your business grows, you will get to know your customers intimately, and you will get to know some of their personal information, and that's going to help drive their buying power. You're going to learn about their professional information. You may have a genre of clients who purchase a product if they're, say, they may be more prone to purchase certain products based on their educational level, we'll say. They may be more inclined to work with you based on other aspects of their professional information. So these are things you really narrow down as you begin to work with your clients. What's especially critical here is what they value and what they fear, because that makes up a large part of who your typical customer is, and it's going to be their motivation for buying from you. I'll give you an example. I had a client who is a doggy daycare owner, and their clients value the fact that they have, they value their pets as a member of their family, and they're fearful that their pets may not develop properly if they're left alone. So for them, a challenge, which is another attribute that helps us define our personas, their challenge is how are they coping with going to work every day, knowing that their dog is at home, maybe tearing the furniture apart, or crying from being lonesome, and that happens with pets. So for their persona, the goal is for them to find a happy place for their pet to be cared for so that they can work. And that's a fact of life. So those are some of the values and the fears and the goals and the challenges that go hand in hand in our clients' lives. And that's what we can help to overcome through our services. So if you know what those are, then you can better position your messaging to appease your potential clients. When I say where are they, that's not physically where they are, although it could be like what club do they hang out at. That might be an opportunity for advertising there. But where are they socially online? So what kind of social channels are they engaged in? That's where. Are they more of a Twitter follower? So they want their news on demand quickly? Are they more of a Instagram person? Do they like to sit and browse through your photo albums? Do they like to engage on Facebook? Those are some of the, maybe they're a LinkedIn person. Somebody who's professionally developing themselves on LinkedIn may or may not be on the Pinterest channel. So those are some things you want to track, because you will want to position your messages on the channels where they frequent. You also want to look at some negative information as well. And what I mean by negative info, as an example, could be a negative experience that they had in the field related to the service that you're in. So you want to be aware of that, and perhaps that's another opportunity where you can position your messaging so that they can overcome their negative experiences and move past by doing business with you. The value of your client persona is critical because it helps you define your value. Okay, get that? Say that again. The value of the client persona is what helps to define your value, because it's going to help you overcome the challenges of your clients. It's going to help your business be positioned in the forefront of your client personas when you help them achieve their goals as well. So it helps to define your value to your prospect. So let's take a look at an example of a marketing message, again with that example of the doggy daycare. Because we did the client research, because we did our persona research, we know that this kind of marketing message could work. Are you worried about your pooch while you are at work? Well, Canine Haven Doggy Daycare offers safe social playtime for doggies of all shapes and sizes. That works, and that worked very well with our client. You also have the elevator speech potential as well. Imagine you're at a networking session or within a crowd of people, and because you have assessed your client, and you've done your homework, and you have your personas understood, then you can easily come up with an elevator speech, a short, stylized statement that clearly articulates what you do. So, a doggy daycare. I run a doggy daycare offering safe social playtime for dogs of all shapes and sizes. That statement is going to get the attention of someone who needs your service. And that is because you understood your persona. Make sure you do your research on this. You can do surveys, you can do interviews, you can research your customers using Google. You can also talk with your customers as you get them. As you have great experiences with your customers, have conversations with them to discover what they like about you and what they like about your product or your service. And that's going to help you better understand your target audience and better position yourself in front of others as well. Do keep in mind that personas are ever evolving. They are changing, and as you learn more about your personas, you're going to redefine who they are. You may learn so much more about them that you're able to change your messaging to be very targeted. So as personas change, you will discover more and more about your customers and what their motivators are. So do keep that in mind, that it is ever evolving, but you really have to stay on top and in tune with who your personas are. Organic growth. It is the act of getting your customers to come to you naturally over time rather than artificially through paid links or boosted posts. And that's known as pull marketing as opposed to push marketing. Examples of organic growth are word of mouth. Nothing speaks better about our credibility than word of mouth. Link building is also a great way to do so. So you can have your industry associates or people who are clients from their page, maybe put a link from their site to your site. That's known as link building. Any social channel that you have for your business, make sure it links back to your website. That's going to allow for this organic growth, because the more links into your site, the better you'll be recognized by Google and other search engines. Social shares are extremely important for organic marketing. It shows credibility of your product or your service. It shows that people are engaged with what you're doing. User-generated content is really cool too, and that's a very powerful tool. Take, for instance, the doggy daycare example. Some of their clients actually post on their Facebook channels, their pooch getting ready in the morning to go to doggy daycare, and then they tag that company's Facebook page. So that's an example of user-generated content that has exponential sharing potential. Another example of user-generated content would be as if you had a comments form on your website. So that's showing interaction from your customer base or your user base, and that's going to help with your organic growth significantly. Then there's search engine optimization, and that is a key foundational piece to all of your marketing outreach as well, because it helps position you well with Google search as well. With organic marketing, there's one thing that you can always be on top, that you should always be on top of and always be managing, and that is your profile. Make sure that you update it often. So regularly update your cover photo with, or maybe eye-catching product images, or even a new banner that's promoting your sale. Do this across all of your channels as well. So cross promote and ensure that you have that same update piece across all of your channels. So if you're on Twitter, LinkedIn, etc., or on Instagram, Facebook, make sure that you cross promote across all of your channels. And here's a tip for you. I use a product called Buffer.com, and it is a social media broadcasting tool, and it's a tool that allows me to post to multiple channels simultaneously and through scheduling. So that is a great way to handle your cross-promotional activities as well. Always make sure too that your links always come back to your site in your bio. Make sure your bio, your profile, your email signatures all have those link backs to your websites or whatever social channels that you're using as well. And make sure that within, I know Facebook and within Twitter, that you can post or pin rather one of your posts to the top of your feed. So that's going to give immediate exposure to anybody coming onto your channel. And it's always advised to pin your best performing posts to the top of your profile as well. So make sure that your social media profiles are completed in full, because that is a great opportunity to share information. And I'd also recommend listing in online directories like your local chamber of commerce or any sort of print business directories that might be floating around in your neighborhood, or any other sort of online directories as well, that are either industry specific or just general, where people can search, and that's also going to give you that link back factor as well. So that's all quite helpful. Hashtags are highly recommended, and I know they're in the mainstream right now. And I don't see them going away anytime soon, because they are a fabulous way of helping to organize content and to attach your conversations to certain, feeds or streams or topics of interest that are associated with that hashtag. So the number shift of the 3 of your keyboard will deliver the hashtag. But what's important is to have the right kind of statement next to your hashtag. You can start creating your own, or you can align your content and your posts according to the most relevant hashtag topics that are out there. For example, there's hashtag digital marketing, there's hashtag Facebook, there's hashtag social media marketing. There's hashtag dogs of Instagram. That's a good one. You can also associate with hashtag Storm Central for local storms and so on. So there are a slew of hashtags out there. I suggest you do some research and make hashtags that are relevant to your brand as you promote your posts. When you're using hashtags, there are rules to follow according to the social network. So as of like June 2019, when this is being broadcast, Twitter posts with one hashtag generate 21% more engagement than tweets with 3 or more. And I think that's largely due to the fact that we're limited with the amount of characters that we can use in a Twitter post. It's like 240, I believe. So you don't want to use up your whole post with hashtags. However, with Instagram, they love hashtags, and posts that have at least 11 or more see more engagement on Instagram. And with respect to Facebook, posts are doing much better within the Facebook world because hashtags are now searchable. So you want to align your business and your brand with hashtags for sure. Oops. Some good ways there are 4 ways actually to improve engagement with hashtag. 4 for today. You can align with your brand, as I said, but make sure you choose your hashtags very carefully. And here's a tip: take your hashtags offline. And what I mean by that is, include it in your email signature. Look at traditional forms of print marketing or television or other types of marketing where people reference their your website. Make sure you also include references to your hashtags because they are searchable, and it's a great way to be found as well. And it's a great way to align your business with certain conversations that use those hashtags as well. Okay. Another way to organically grow is by trend alignment. So you can align some of your social media posts with a current trending topic, and this is going to help you reach new people with your social content every time you align your post with a trend that is relevant right now. So pay attention to what's happening in the news, pay attention to the hashtags that are being used, and use that as an opportunity to add your voice to those conversations of things that are happening in our world. Also, too, another great way to organically grow is to post quote images. And you all know that a post is worth 1,000 words. So learn to layer your words on top of those pictures. And that's going to help you to double down on your engagement because you're going to be using both language and imagery. And quotes, they're well-known words. So borrow, quote, some of your most, inspirational speakers or people who you identify with. You can borrow their credibility by associating yourself with them, but make sure you use quotes and give the attribute to the speaker for sure. So make sure you use quotes too that come from the people your audience adores or loves, and that's going to be very helpful. I use Canva.com. I highly recommend you do as well. I'm also a Photoshop user and a slew of other graphical marketing tools, but Canva is very mainstream and very, very easy to use, and it will allow you to create quotable imagery quite easily and efficiently. And in fact, if I challenge you, within 15 minutes or less, you should be able to have a nice image that you can have a quotable image ready to post to your social feeds. It's that simple, so there's no excuse. On your Facebook channel, it's highly advised that every so often that you run a contest, because contests are great ways to produce a tremendous amount of engagement. especially if you ask your audience to do something. If you ask them to do something relatively little, like like your post for an opportunity to reap a reward, that's pretty simple. But this is an opportunity to test your audience. Now, what I mean by that is if you want to, say, build your list, like your email list, this could be a great way to do that, because you can have a great prize, and the more compelling your prize, the more like hoops people will jump through for the chance to come out as the winner. So this could be an excellent way for you to gather, like, say, their email address, or even to get people to book appointments if you have a great prize. Now, if you have, say, a $5 gift card for the local coffee shop, don't expect them to give you your email address. If, however, you have, a $50 prepaid Visa card that they could do a little Christmas shopping with, hey, they might just give you their email address. Or if you have maybe a gift card of significant value to your shop, they may provide you with their email address and book an appointment with you as well. That'd be ideal for spas, or hair salons, or even restaurants for that matter. Because really, I can't remember the last time I was out that I got away with paying $50 for a meal. So that could be, a really great incentive. Book your next Christmas party with us. Here's a $50 voucher. So it's a great opportunity to use your Facebook channel to run a contest, and it's a great way to establish referrals as well. And the better your prize, the more opportunity there are for referrals, because people will share. So organic marketing, again, is that act of getting your customers to come to you naturally over time rather than artificially. It is pulling your customers in rather than pushing, and SEO is a huge part of that. Let's talk about a few tactics for SEO. SEO is a methodology of strategy, so it's a way of achieving a goal, and it is the techniques and the tactics used to increase the amount of visitors to a website. So that is what SEO is in a nutshell, is the techniques that you use to increase the amount of visitors to come to your website. Okay? Your goal should always be to increase visitors to your website, because you want to have your website highly ranked and placed well within search results page. SEO, however, requires an understanding of how people find things on the web. 93% of online experiences begin with a search engine. Okay, not a lot of people go on Facebook, for example, to search for a product that they want to purchase. No, they will go to Google and they will look there first. So 93% of those experiences begin with search. Google is the primary engine to do that. Combine this first statistic with the fact that the first 5 results on the Google search page get the majority of the clicks. So if you're not found on the first page of Google, you're probably not going to be found. And here's a really crude joke of the day. This is why it's so very crucial to be on the first page of Google. Let's presume you have a body that you need to hide. This is really crude. I shouldn't say this. But put it on the second page of Google, and that is your guarantee of of success there. That was crude. I apologize, but that's true. Nobody goes to the second page of Google. They find what they want on the first page because people, those companies are on point with their SEO strategies. And they do so because they make their pages primarily for the users. They don't talk about themselves. They talk about the benefits that are available for their customers. They always should be customer centric. And that ensures that there is the best possible experience for your customer when they visit your site. So many companies talk about themselves exclusively. So many companies will talk about who they are, their history, where they're located. Well, their customers are not buying the building that they're showcasing on the front page. The customer wants to buy the widgets that are made inside that building. They're not going to do that until they see through good copy and good imagery how your widgets are beneficial to them. So make the pages primarily for your users. Make sure that the site has a clear navigation. Make sure that all your coding is great in the background, pointing to your visual images, like your images and any other type of media like video. Google, when they rank your page or your site, rather, Google does not look at the image and try to figure out what it is, nor does Google watch your video to find out what the subject matter is. So many people overlook making sure that the right descriptors are attached to their media, and that depletes your ranking quickly. Let me tell you, you can quickly drop to page 2 if you don't follow those types of rules. Number 4 is to create useful, information-rich sites with clear content on each page. So have each page very specific. I visited a site recently where, it's a large multinational site, but they had everything on their front page. And I was so confused. I didn't know if I wanted to get my vehicle fixed, or if I wanted to learn about how they do research, or if I just wanted to buy the food product to make, a little bit of a dinner. So make sure that every page is very clear with content on each page that is specific to one topic, and use keywords. Keywords are so important. They should be present in the names of your pages as well. Okay. Keyword research is key. Because that is what our prospects are typing into the Google search engine. So if we knew exactly how people were searching for us, or what type of keywords they're being used to search about our industry, then that helps us position our page content that much better. Okay, and so keyword research all begins with words that are typed into that search box. This is on par with persona definition. Keyword research, in my opinion, is probably the most important and valuable high return activity you can do, because the right keyword or the wrong keyword can actually make or break your online presence. So make sure that your keyword research activity allows you to learn the terms and phrases that customers use to find you and your online profiles. It's going to help you learn about your customers as a whole. Search can be one word, it can be a keyword, it can be phrases, which are long tail keywords. So some examples of keywords are salmon or shirts versus monogrammed golf shirts or maple smoked salmon. So if I were a company selling smoked salmon products, I wouldn't have just the term salmon populated throughout my site, because if somebody were to search for just salmon, my gosh, they'd get, salmon farms, salmon in Alaska, salmon in Atlantic, etc., etc. They might not necessarily get the fact that I'm selling maple smoked salmon, unless that is part of the search term. And if I have that embedded on my page, the likelihood of them finding me, therefore, is going to be that much greater. How do you find out what people are using to find you, what keywords they're using? I recommend things like Google Analytics. That is a great tool that should be embedded on every website. Not only will it tell you your visitor stats, but it'll drill down and tell you how people are coming to your site in terms of the search words that they are using to visit your site. You can also check out Keyword Tool.io. That's a really good keyword tracker as well. So where to use your keywords, make sure they're on your website, on your page, in the metadata, which is that background information that describes the content of your page. Make sure that your keywords are in the page title and in the copy as well. And all your text images and any media files should have your keywords as well, so that when your customers are searching for maple planked salmon or whatever it might be, whatever long tail keyword you land upon, on, you'll know that when they type that, if that's a common search term for your product or service, that the likelihood of them finding you will be that much greater. Make sure too that in your copy for your social channels that it is present on all your messages, and align your keywords with hashtags, and that's going to help you be consistent across all channels as well. With organic marketing, we've touched on a few topics, but it's really important that you rinse, repeat, etc. So gather emails at every opportunity that you can. Blog. Get a blog going. There's nothing better to engage your audience, and there's nothing better, in fact, to help you elevate your rankings within search by having consistent activity and new content being placed on your website and through a blog. That's a great way. Also, be social. Find and follow complementary businesses that are on social media, and develop some really good social media relationships with businesses in your area. And when I say area, that could be your geographic area. It could also be your industrial area, wherever your professional boundaries are. And you can like and share all of their posts and their tweets, and you'll find that that's really, really helpful for raising your organic profile. Paid advertising. When you're ready, I highly recommend paid advertising. Now, I say when you're ready. I think it's really important that you first build your organic presence, or your presence organically, and that's going to show social proof, so that by the time you're ready to go out there and broadcast to your audiences using paid advertising, you're going to have a social proof foundation that people can see, oh yeah, okay, they're quite legitimate, they've had engagement, they look legitimate. Paid advertising are paid link ads that are considered inorganic. They are push advertising. So some examples would be in directories. So if you belong to a professional association like Psychology Today, they charge a premium or a fee rather to have various types of listings. You can do pay-per-click advertising, which is like through Facebook ads and Twitter ads and so forth. You pay per each click that is brought into your website, done through Google AdWords and also through Facebook ads. Twitter has a paid advertising option, as does Pinterest, as does LinkedIn, as do all of the social channels. But let's focus just for a second for the purpose of our talk today on the Facebook ad. The power of a Facebook ad is just, it blows me away with the amount of demographic information that Facebook has collected on all of its users. Is just amazing. You can advertise direct to a location. Within that location, you can advertise just to an age group of people that are specific, so between 30 and 35. You can even narrow that down even further and say only people who live in a certain location between 30 and 35 who speak French, who are university educated, who are interested in business, etc., etc. So it's a very, very powerful medium. You can't get that type of measurement and feedback from other forms of marketing. You certainly can't get it through radio. You certainly can't get it through print. Print distribution at one time was the catalyst. You were able to identify, our distribution is 20,000 households, but do 20,000 people actually engage with that print ad? We don't know, but with Facebook advertising, you'll know. There are over 1 billion daily active users on Facebook, so that's a huge, huge opportunity. Let's take a look at a ad that we ran quite some time ago now for one of our clients, and this is an interesting one. I can't recall which client this was for now that I look at all the specs on it, but let's just go through it. I'm not going to go through all the, how we got here, but this is just showing the power of how you can be very specific when defining your audience for your ad on Facebook. So this could have been like an image and maybe a link back to our website. So we want it in terms of this ad to be shown only to people in Canada, but we wanted to exclude British Columbia. We also wanted to include the United States. We wanted the ad to be shown only to people between 25 and 40 who were male, that spoke both Chinese and English, who were only interested in women, who were single, who were college grads, and who were involved in the financial industry. Gee, I can't remember what this ad was for. Oh, I know now. Wait, and then we wanted to show their interest was for fitness. Yeah, so we were running a gym ad. I remember this now. So we wanted to make sure that this was sent to just these people who met that criteria. Pretty broad initially when you think about it. Canada, except BC, there should be a lot of people between the ages of 25 and 40 who are male and interested in all of this. But as we drill down here, we see that we are only going to reach about 2,600 people. And you might think, oh, gee, that's not very much, but think about it. This is a very targeted ad. Remember earlier we said how the online space is so crowded and that you want to be very specific with whom you target your messaging. This, through Facebook advertising, my friends, allows you to be very, very targeted. So we might reach 2,600 people and we might run this ad for, say, 2 weeks and spend $500 on this ad. But if we're selling, a product, in this case, I think it was like gym memberships, and I think there was another package included with it. So I think the whole thing was like a $700 item that we were selling or broadcasting to this audience. The return was good, I can tell you, because we were very, very focused in our ad. That's what paid advertising can do for you. So email marketing couples with paid advertising as well. It's all part of that integrated mix. Email is not dead. Don't let anyone tell you that it is. It's a very, very strong marketing tool. It's a form of direct marketing. It uses email as your means of communication. But you have a captured audience because you have that email address in the palm of your hand given to you by that prospect, and that is a huge sign of trust. Some of the tools that we use for email marketing can be MailChimp. There's Constant Contact. HubSpot is a good one. We like MailChimp for some of our startups because it's free for up to 2,000 email addresses, and it has a lot of powerful features as well for being a free tool. Okay. Your foundation for your email marketing is that subscribers list. So every time you get an opportunity to add to your subscribers list, please do so, because the bigger your list, the stronger your list, and the larger your audience as well. You can several ways to build your list. You can optimize your website for these opt-ins. You can include a call to action on your blog. You can engage with social media. Put it on your business cards. That's a no-brainer. Put out a sign-up sheet when you're at an event. Host an event to get email addresses. Just ask people. Invite people to join your organization. Giving away that coveted prize during a contest is a great one as well. So any opportunity you can to build your email list, please do. Be aware as well that in Canada, we have anti-spam legislation in place. The United States also has anti-spam policies, and the UK and the European Council also have, or the European nations rather, also have the anti-spam regulations in place as well. Basically, and this has to be something you look at in each country of origin, whatever your country of origin is. But in Canada, we have to ensure that our list subscribers be informed that how their email address will be used. So when you say, hey, join my email list, I make sure you tell them I send newsletters out on a regular basis or something to that effect. Make sure that you keep track of how you acquired their consent to use that. And always provide that prospect the opportunity to withdraw from receiving your emails at any time. And if you use a solid email marketing tool like MailChimp, for instance, there's always that unsubscribe button at the bottom of every email. Okay? So make sure that your country of origin, that you respect those those email rules at your country of origin. So I highly suggest that you develop, if you haven't, an email marketing strategy to reach your customers, and you want to commit some time. You want to commit some effort into building your email list, because they're just not going to, come willingly. You have to make an effort into gathering those lists, and set some time aside on a regular basis to draft some good emails, and make a goal to write a set number of emails, per week, per month, whatever works best for you to engage with your audience. Call to actions, always a good thing to add within the body of your emails, and also too a great thing to add across all of your channels. So it's a call to action is that instruction to your audience or your prospect. It's intended to provoke a response. Usually you use verbs such as call now, find out more, or visit our store today. So when you create an online marketing campaign, I think one of the most important campaign or components is that CTA, because it's going to grab your prospect's attention and it's going to encourage him or her to act. Okay, so consider when you're implementing your CTAs that they engage your readers in immediate ways. It has to be immediate. And this works whether you're selling a product, or if you're hosting an event, or if you're delivering new content. So to encourage a purchase, here are some CTAs: shop now, act now, buy now, etc. You can stop the video and look at this if you like. I'm not going to go over every one, or a few, but I've categorized each of the key CTAs. So here are some to encourage a purchase. When the holidays are coming up, what are some attention-getting call to actions? Order now, 15% off for your gift, find holiday gifts, etc. When you want to promote your content, you have new content that you've just developed, whether it be a video or a new blog post or a new ebook, just give the instruction there. When you have a video, watch now, see this crazy video, hear from, that's a good one, hear her story. So people will click on that to do just that. When you have an event, you can say, count me in, book my tickets now, sign me up, etc. Save me a spot is a good one. CTAs for service-based businesses: book your next appointment, start your free trial. Those are all good ones. Sign up and save. That's always an incentive. And things that focus on results will start today, get something now, start now, I'm ready to see a change. Those are good calls to action. And if you want to collect feedback, take our survey, leave a review. That's pretty popular. Let us know how we did. That's a kind way of asking for someone's opinion. And CTAs for social media, we've seen all these: follow, stay connected, like us, so on. And then we have the landing page. What happens when some of those call to actions are clicked? We take them to a landing page. It is a section of a website that's accessed by clicking on a hyperlink on another web page, or as part of your ad copy as well. You'll find that within Facebook ads, when you click on the button that says, download here or get more info, you're not going to that company's website. Typically, you're going to a landing page that is specific about the product that you're clicking about. It's a landing page. The landing page is most often the destination page of a call to action, and it focuses on that single objective that matches the intent of the ad that the visitor clicked on. It's often used as a lead or a capture page. It provides a way for us to digitally shake hands with potential customers, and it offers us the opportunity to acquire their email address in exchange of a reward. So get our latest ebook, give us your email address, and we'll send you that ebook right away. The layout of a landing page, pretty straightforward, but pretty technical at the same time. A nice looking headline is critical. The second one is a secondary headline. So the first, number one, is to reinforce why they're there. It's a tie-in to the ad that got them there. The secondary headline is going to augment the offer, if you will. And then number three is the copy that explains a little bit of detail. Let's skip over to number 4, a testimonial. Anytime you can provide social proof, the better, especially when you're selling a product or service. People want to know that it works. So a testimonial is key. Here's a great call to action, a 2-part one actually. Do it now and click here. So you've got some urgency and you're giving them the opportunity to take an action right here. Number 7 is interesting. There's a navigation option here. Now, there's some argument amongst, or debate amongst marketers whether or not you should have the navigation link to your company there, because it kind of flies in the face of having the landing page specific to one topic and one intent and one purpose. When you give people the opportunity to click on things that take them away from your landing page, you're reducing their interest. So it's probably not a good idea to have that there unless maybe you have other landing pages that you want to link to that are complementary to this one. I typically don't have my links up there. What I do, however, at the bottom of the landing page is that I have an obligation to show any terms of service or the privacy page as well. Those are the only other external links that I put on a product or service specific landing page. Here in this section is a nice stunning visual, or a video is probably a better one, a retainer explainer video. And then we have number 9. That is known as the fold. And that goes back to like those large print formats called newspapers that people used to get, that they'd fold in half. All of the important information was above the fold. Well, this is where you have all of your important information above the fold. Not to say you can't have content below the fold on a web landing page, but you wouldn't have your primary information. You'd have other information down here that augments your main offer, but all of your hardcore content, your main focus, is up top above the fold. So let's put it all together, shall we? We're just under an hour. We're doing fine with time. I'd like to introduce Kate Taylor. She's a personal and branding stylist, and one day she popped into my Facebook feed, and I thought, oh, I like her jacket. See, that appealed to me, and I especially liked her coach, and I looked at her whole image, and then what caught my attention was the tagline here, brand colors. Ooh, that's interesting to me. Now, she found me because I'm interested in social media, I'm interested in branding and media and so on. So when part of her targeted approach to this Facebook ad, she would have easily identified me that way. Okay, so we've got the fact that she is a go-to personal stylist. So all of this copy here was really interesting to me. So I thought, I must learn more. Then I ended up going to her landing page. So from the ad to the landing page, a very simple, specific landing page that speaks directly to what I want to learn more about. Notice we don't have a lot of content on this landing page. We don't have the links up here that they had on the example that I debated with you a few minutes ago. They have a very, very specific and very focused landing page that augments why I'm here. One strong call to action: download the free guide. So a little, disclaimer there, a little more explanation, and that's it. So there's really nothing else for me to do other than close the window, because I'm really not interested, or download the guide. So this was a beautiful landing page. When I clicked on download the free guide, this popped up. It says, oh, you're almost there. Let's fill out this form. So I'm engaged by this time. By this time, I want to learn more about what this person has to say about branding and colors, because I think those are important things when trying to appeal to your audience. So my name and my email address are the only two things that she's asking for here. Notice that it's just first name. She doesn't care about my last name, and that's a good thing, because I kind of think my last name is personal. I don't mind somebody knowing my first name. I'm friendly. You can call me by my first name. There's none of this Mr. or Ms. And my email address is obvious because that's where she's going to send me some information or to give me the guide. So I do that. I fill out my first name, I put in my email address, and then I click on download the free guide. And then what happens is she has taken my email address and it's gone off to her email engine, and it's doing its thing. It's processing it. It's being added to the email database, and that database engine, maybe she uses MailChimp, is sending that download to me as a PDF in my email. So that's great. While that's happening, she's given me an opportunity to take our relationship a step further. So she's telling me I'll receive this confirmation email soon, but in the meantime, maybe I want to watch one of her webinars. So this is a great way of keeping me engaged. And I said, oh, okay, let's register for your free webinar. And then you do that because you already have the email address. You'll get notification to watch that webinar. Here is the reward. Here's an actual copy of the email that was sent to me that had my file attached to it. And again, look, it's all branded. It appeals to me and my persona. So I had a really good experience dealing with this transaction with this person. And likelihood of me moving forward with this individual to learn more about branding and colors and how it can help me attract my customers is highly likely. Okay, so this was a very good experience. She used an integrated media mix to deliver this solution. She used an ad. She used a Facebook ad, in this case pay-per-click Facebook ad with a strong call to action. It sent me to a landing page where she provided me with value, and she gathered my email address. From there, I was added to her email address and validated as a subscriber, and that could have been through any of these tools. That email campaign then sent some data to me, the customer or prospect in this case, and then I have an opportunity to go back to her platform, her blog, her website, and I received, of course, the content through email. So that was using a great example of using an integrated media mix to reach our customer, and she did a great job with that. So your email marketing toolkit should be pretty big by now. Obviously, you need a website. It has to be responsive and it has to be SEO compatible. You need to find some really high traffic keywords. So do your research to find out how people are searching for you. Optimize that by adding those keywords to your blog posts or your landing pages, and of course your website. And blogging. It can be blogging by way of video blog. It can be a text blog. It can be a podcast, and just be consistent to get your message out there. Okay. Email as well is a very strong component of your email marketing toolkit, marketing toolkit rather. And I strongly suggest creating and deploying these stunning emails. You can get great templates through MailChimp and other products. Make sure you personalize your subject lines and make sure that the content is relevant for your audience as well. Don't forget about employing call to actions across your social channels and across your web pages. And when they come to your landing page, make sure it looks perfect across all of your devices. Make sure your forms are all optimized for completion in one click and so forth. So ads as well. Make sure that when you're ready, and I say when you're ready, once you've organically grown your business online, then you'll be ready for doing some Facebook advertising, LinkedIn, or even Google AdWords as well. Google Ads now, I think it's called. You'll be ready. once you've gone through the organic steps that we've talked about here, then your audience will see that you're legitimate for sure. Stay active on social media. Make sure that you publish your posts so that your folks will see them when they're online. And again, a little bit of research is relevant there. I have an audience that I market to on Saturday mornings, and that is the females in the 40 to 55 age range are more apt to purchase something when they see your ad consistently on Facebook on Saturday morning, because the 40 to 55-year-old has a little bit more fluid income in theory for this audience that I'm marketing to. And I knew that because I did my research. And there are statistics out there as to when people buy the most and when and whom and how. And do your research on that, and that'll allow you to post your social media at the right time when the right people will see them. And analytics, of course, help you to gain that insight into what's working the best and the hardest and how visitors are finding you online. So we've covered a lot of information today. What's that? Oh. We covered a lot of information today. I apologize for this line that appeared on my graphic. How did that get there? If you want to learn more about how we can help you, I'd suggest visiting Atlantic Online. You may have already been there if you signed up for us from our landing page for this webinar today. But with respect to what we do, we help businesses build their business online through website development, through e-commerce website development as well. We've worked with a variety of companies to help them sell their products and services online. We don't just set up the payment gateways. We help you set up everything, your whole online shop, the rules, the regulations, your policies, your procedures. We walk people through the whole thing. We use that 80-20 ratio when we think about the work we do with setting up e-commerce websites, because 80% of our time is spent figuring out all of the nits and processes and all the little bits that go along with that. And the tech piece is pretty simple by the time we figure out all of the logistics. So we have a lot of fun building our e-commerce websites for our clients. We've worked with pharmacies. We've worked with plastics companies that have plastic manufacturing products. We've worked with artists. We've worked with cosmetic companies, and we work with coaches as well who are selling their products and services online. And so we've been having a lot of fun doing that, because it's a great thrill when your customers get that first sale and they call you at odd hours. And it's really satisfying. Our other service is social. We help you engage with the people who mean the most to your business, who are your customers. So, social tools are really easy to use, but people don't tend to use them well or consistently in their business. And even though the tech piece might be kind of easy, it's the devotion and the dedication and the strategy that we help people with. So, and there are some companies who are, big enough that they just outsource that to us entirely, and we are happy to have those conversations for sure. And then we have email as a service. We help our clients communicate with their prospects and their existing clients through email. We try to catch those consumers at every stage of their buying funnel. So if you would like more information, or if you'd like to chat about how we can help your business succeed online, please contact us. We're at atlanticonline.ca, and we can be reached at 902-717-8496. And thank you very much for being with us today. So this is Shelley, over and out.